Super wild card weekend is in the books. And my friends, we came pretty close to having both of our namesakes eliminated from playoff contention. Brian, you weren't with us last week. You're here this week. Before DVD and I weigh in, we need to get your take on the nerve-wracking marathon. Was that the longest football game ever played?
Maybe.
It started at 1 o'clock and it didn't finish till like 5.
I wouldn't know. I was actually on a cruise in the Caribbean, so I couldn't even watch the game. I was just seeing random highlights on my phone with the spotty internet that was coming up. But on the entire cruise ship, there was like 1 billion Bills fans on there, which was amazing. Everybody's wearing the jerseys and the swag. I came with some swag too, so we were good to go. But I knew it was over when the whole place erupted during trivia, because we were just there focused on trivia. Then I see the Bills table, and they just erupted. So I got home, watched the highlights, and I have a few thoughts.
Oh man, this is like Porter Vallarta Brian here on his trivia cruise ship. And I was talking some smack about your Bills a couple weeks ago, which almost came to fruition. I mean,
almost.
I'm happy it didn't, but almost.
It's not even Skylar Thompson. Like the Bills defense just looks horrendous right now. They allowing 30 points on that team when all they did was run the ball. Like, you got to learn how to stop the run. Yeah. Skylar Thompson's not a good quarterback, and you let him throw all over you as well.
I also felt that I had this debate with my dad. I thought that it was a poorly coached game. But I mean, Josh Allen takes some of that slack too, but I just like the coaching on that. I think that you got out-coached, Brian, on that one, I think.
I thought Josh Allen was a bonehead several times in that game.
So other than that first interception and the drop, the second interception, that's Cole Beasley all day. That was the worst pass reception attempt I've ever seen.
He just needs to stop. It's not that he's a bonehead. Let me take that back. We've said he's put in a position where he has to make boneheaded decisions. We've said all season on this podcast that none of us have loved the Bills' offensive strategy and think it's way too Josh Allen heavy and Josh Allen reliant.
So are you blaming Josh for that? Because I blame Ken Dorsey.
No.
100%.
I don't know if blame's the right word. I think he feels it. Like, I think he really feels the pressure of needing to put this Bills team on his shoulders. And I think it gets to him sometimes. And as they head into the game on Sunday against Cincinnati, hosting the Bengals, just don't turn the ball over. Like, just don't make any...
But that's going to be the name of our new podcast, Talking Bills and Bengals.
Yeah, I don't agree with that take though, because like if you're Ken Dorsey, why are you throwing a 70-yard bomb down the field when you're up 17? Why don't you just run the clock out? That's more of my thought. Like, why wouldn't you run the ball in those situations? He already made a bomb to Stephon Diggs, made a bomb to Gabe Davis. Don't try to bomb it to Shakir or Rocky, whatever the hell that guy's name is. You can't catch a football.
Might as well be Shakir at this point.
If Shakir makes that catch, different game, because he was already down by the 30-yard line. That would have been another touchdown, game over right there. If the interception from Cole Beasley never happened, totally different game. There's only one interception. Josh Allen had 420 yards, 4 touchdown passes. It would be a totally different conversation. The fumble was bad, but he got sacked with no offensive line. You can't hold on to the ball every time he gets sacked. So there's things that happen. It's just play calling for me that's the real problem. I don't know. With Brian Dable in charge, I don't remember this many turnovers. Do you?
I don't even know if it's play call. It is play calling, but it's like he needs, like, you saw Daniel Jones literally looked like the second coming on Sunday against the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah. And you can see that that's the influence that Brian Dable has. And Josh Allen, to me, seems like a guy who needs that. He needs a guy who is like a calming... we don't hear what goes on in the headset, so I'm not going to sit here and say Ken Dorsey's not level-headed, although we did see him throw that spaz earlier this year, so maybe he isn't level-headed.
I really don't think he is.
Dable has proven to be sort of the quarterback whisperer a little bit, and I think Allen is showing, because you can tell that he's feeling the pressure. I think he's showing that he's still at a point in his career where he needs that sort of calming guidance. He hasn't got to the point yet like Mahomes or even a Joe Burrow where he exudes like, I got this.
I don't agree with that either. Like, the only quarterback that doesn't need a sort of good offensive play calling is Patrick Mahomes. So if you have an idiot like Ken Dorsey in there, what do you think's going to happen?
Brian,
he never runs the ball.
Brian, I love you, buddy, but you are going full Bills fan right now. I read a whole article today about Bills fans losing it anytime you levy any criticism at Josh Allen. And
I'm going to be the tiebreaker here. I think Josh Allen deserves a little bit of the heat on this one for the weekend. Like, you can't. He's supposed to be a leader.
Brian,
come on,
Brian.
How do you know he's not being a leader? What does that mean?
Cold hard truth. If you're ranking the 4 remaining AFC quarterbacks, Josh Allen is 3rd.
Yeah.
Stats throughout the whole year, then.
I'd put Joey. But in terms of like,
so what was the Bengals' record this year? What was their record?
But it doesn't. It's just I'm talking about it's not about win loss. I'm talking about like pocket presence and confidence and not turning the ball over and not like he just. I don't know. It's just my personal
but I mean,
opinion.
It's been post DeMar Hamlin, so like you lost a week doing that. You came back looking rusty in the other game. I'm not really that worried because they're still figuring it out. And this DeMar Hamlin thing kind of threw a whole wrench in all what was going on with the team. But I hear what you're saying. It's just I don't think the second interception had anything to do with Josh. That's all Cole Beasley. Him getting trampled in the back by 4 defensive linemen, losing the ball, not his fault either. The offensive line has to show up there. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, it's definitely not his fault, and he's definitely one of the more elite quarterbacks in the game.
And he put up 34 points. Like, you put 34 points. The defense needs to step up. It's not Josh Allen. 34 points.
This is the first time I think there's been like tension, and I feel like right in the middle of it. I was just like, oh god.
Well, there's no. It's not tension. It's just.
I know. I like it. Bring it on.
If I'm objective, okay, and I'm watching this game on Sunday,
I'm not objective, by the way.
Listen, I will come on here. If I'm wrong, I'll come on here with these guys next week. I will sit down with a huge bowl of crow and I will eat it in front of both of you.
Oh, that's what I did. I thought the Bills weren't even going to be here this week. So
I just think if I'm looking at this Bills-Bengals game and I'm worried about a quarterback turning the ball over, I'm not worried about Joe Burrow doing that. I am worried about Josh Allen doing that.
Let's see how many turnovers Joe Burrow has this year. Let's look that up.
But it's like
I'm on it.
Pocket presence and confidence and just, I don't know. Joe Burrow, it's just a gut feeling and instinct I have. You can tell me the numbers all you want. It's like a gut feeling I have.
14?
I just feel more confident with Joe Burrow than I do with Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, he had 18 and 14. So there's only 4 more turnovers there.
It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling I have.
At the same time, though, I prefer a quarterback that's going to take a few risks, and it might cause a turnover here and there. But you see some of those bombs that Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, you're not going to hit those unless you're taking risks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. I got to be honest with you. I don't. Of the final 4, I don't love their chances.
I don't love the chances because of the defense. The defense has been horrendous.
I think Kansas City is once again in the driver's seat in the AFC, and that makes me sick. I'm so tired.
I was like, please
Kansas
don't
City
say
Chiefs.
that out loud. I wanted them to go a long time ago.
I'm so tired of the Kansas City Chiefs, but I just
But they're going to win. Like, the Jags are going to pull off some miraculous win. That's it. That's it. The road stops here for the Jags.
That's the only game this weekend that I see being a potential blowout. Like, I see the Chiefs dominating the Jags. Like, the Jags had their magic moment. Good for them. It's over. Here's one thing I'll say about Bills Bengals. We're going way off format here, but who cares?
This show has a format?
The Bengals could have 3 of their starting offensive linemen out for this game. That's a huge advantage for the Bills. Huge.
For sure, but I mean, Joe Burrow's so used to playing with like a nothing offensive line. And,
yeah.
and when you have Jamar Chase and those guys, they just kind of do whatever they want to do.
they're two evenly matched teams, and in my opinion, it's a win-win because you either get Kansas City, Buffalo, and for the third year in a row, or you get the Bengals and the Chiefs again, and the Bengals are a team that a lot of people said have the Chiefs number and are the perfect sort of counterpunch to the Kansas City Chiefs. But let's
Bills also had their number this year.
Yes. Let's review the rest of the weekend. So I don't think we need to spend a ton of time on Niners Seahawks. The Seahawks were competitive. Geno Smith fumbled the ball in the third quarter. That was the end of that. The Niners.
DK had a nice game too.
Yeah. The Niners are a freaking juggernaut.
Oh man.
Yeah. They are a buzzsaw.
Picture Brock Purdy on another team. I wonder what he would actually look like without that crazy offense around him. Like Christian McCaffrey, Jesus. That guy's a freak of nature.
Well, that's why I'm like, one, sad that the Packers didn't make it as a fan, but two, it's like I would have loved to have seen that Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers kind of showdown too this past week. Like that actually would have been like just to really see who actually has the upper hand here.
So would I, DVD, because Rodgers would have choked in that game too, and it would have added to my take I said to you last week of get this idiot out of my face.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch him anymore.
So
I'm done.
I was away. I couldn't listen last week.
I was like, did you not listen to the podcast last week?
I don't want to get off
last night.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about, so I don't want to get we don't need to talk about Aaron Rodgers right now. We've got a whole long time to talk about.
It's gonna give Rob PTSD.
Yeah. But basically, and if you saw any of his clips on the McAfee show earlier today, if you haven't, I urge you to go watch them. I just fueled my fire. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Let's start again. I've seen enough. It's over. Thank you, Aaron. Take your drama someplace else. He does what he always does. He stinks in the last game of the season and then distracts everyone from the conversation of him stinking by threatening retirement. And then everyone's like, oh no, Aaron's going to retire. And everyone stops talking about how he no-shows the most important game of the season again. So I'm over it.
But Brock Purdy, though, he started slow, but back to
Brock Purdy. I'd like to circle back.
He did start slow, but like he really turned it around. And like I liked seeing a basically not drafted guy be able to come back from that kind of start too.
Could be the next Tom Brady. We're in for another goat. Like he does. I don't want to try to count the chickens here, but he's got some potential.
Do you want to hear my hot take? I think when all is said and done, so we're talking years down the road, I think Kyle Shanahan will be mentioned in the same sentence as like Bill Belichick is one of the greatest coaches in the history of the NFL.
100%. My answer is he's basically there already. His play calling is so nice. It's the best to watch.
Is there? I'm sure there is, but for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to ask this question anyway. Is there a bigger loser franchise in all of professional sports than the Los Angeles Chargers? Oh my God. Losers.
Yeah. I mean, you could go with Houston, but yeah, the Chargers are probably taking the cake here.
Well, Houston doesn't ever accomplish anything. So like
so they're
the
Chargers, just losers all the time. Yeah.
Every year when you put on pick your show on any network, every year in the preseason,
look out for the Chargers. Look out for the
Justin Herbert, the LA Chargers. Not that it was Justin Herbert's fault, but it's like, Phillip Rivers before him. Oh man, like just that was hilarious. That's the only way it was hilarious.
Most Chargers way to lose that game too, because you're up you're up massive. Your fans are falling asleep in the stands, and all of a sudden you're losing.
5 turnovers for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 5.
But put yourself in the Jaguars' shoes, though. Like, you had Urban Meyers last year, who just, like, was a train wreck. Their team was slowly imploding, and now they just come out, like I said, they're not going to go very far after this weekend, or if at all. But it's like now they've really showed up.
Yeah.
No,
they won the Super Bowl last week.
That's the thing. Yeah, I was just going to say, like, it doesn't matter anymore because it's like, holy shit, this team actually has potential now. Like, give it a couple more years.
They're technically still rebuilding, and they won their division and upset the LA Chargers. Like, I tell you what, man, Doug Peterson He's a good
coach of the
he's
year.
a good coach. He's a good coach.
He
I
should
think
be considered for coach of the year.
Yeah, oh yeah, he'll be in the running. Daboll's gonna win it, but he'll be in the running for sure. But yeah, Doug Peterson, man, like the guy wins a Super Bowl with Big Dick Nick and takes down the dynasty
Patriots.
New England Patriots, and then he shows up in Jacksonville, and in one season he's got that team winning the division and pulling off an upset in the playoffs. And he's got Trevor Lawrence, who is only going to get better. Yeah.
I mean, the interceptions is one thing, but like you got to take those chances, and like you see it pays off in the second half for this guy. He looked really sharp in the second half. Terrible in the first half, those 77 yards or something.
Yeah, and 5 turnovers.
Yeah, but like they've got weapons, man. They got Zay Jones. He's so good. Like Ingram, he's so good. Like they got weapons everywhere now too. Their defense is still suspect, but you know that'll get better.
As the kids say.
Well, sus, you know.
Is that sus? The kids? Yeah. I just found out what a nepo baby was actually the other day. That's the thing the kids say.
What? Sorry, what?
A nepo baby is somebody who's gotten their career because of nepotism. And it's normally about like famous people like Kate Hudson or something. That adds no value to the content of this podcast, but it reminded me. It's what the kids are saying.
It's what the kids are saying.
It's what the kids are saying.
We're down with the youths.
Yeah.
We already talked Bills and Dolphins, and Brian wants to murder both of us. So
I just had to vent a little bit. We're good.
We'll move on from that one, and because we'll talk a little more Bills Bengals in a minute. But first, let's DVD revel in the fraudulence of the Minnesota Vikings.
That felt so good. I was actually with a Vikings fan earlier today, and he walked in and he looked at me. He goes, "How good do you feel today?" And I was like, fantastic, because you damn Minnesota Vikings proved exactly what they were, and that is fraudulent and garbage. And Kirk Cousins is a piece of shit. And you heard it here first.
Well, you know what though? Like, listen, everyone was like, the defense is awful, and it was. It was horrendous. But I just look at these Vikings fans, and I'm just like, do you honestly think you're gonna win a championship with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback? Are you so like?
See, that's where I maybe slightly
evidence.
Yeah. No, keep going.
The guy chokes in big games. Like, we have overwhelming evidence.
He may have corrected this year, though. He did do well in primetime this year.
He's 5-14 all time in primetime games.
Historically, like that's the most guaranteed bet.
Totally, but for this, to Brian's point, for this season, and I think maybe you're painting fans with a broad brush, because a lot of people are a little bit anti-Kirk Cousins, that they need to get rid of him too in order to win. So it's like, I think it's a teeter-totter depending on who you're talking to and people's feelings about him.
Yeah, I know most people are like that, but I definitely do think there's like a segment of Viking fandom that believes like we've got our guy, and it's like, no, like look at the quarterbacks that are left playing right now. They're all top tier. You could say, Dak Prescott. We're going to talk about him in a second. He played like an elite quarterback last night.
He showed up when it counted, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like when he came on the scene, he kind of felt like an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
I think we already talked about this maybe like lots of weeks back, but I remember first seeing him when he stepped on that field, and I was like, shit, this guy's going to be a force. And then he kind of went down, and now he might be coming back up, but no, he looked great.
After that, we have the Cincinnati Bengals defeating the Baltimore Ravens 24-17. I will say this, Brian. I didn't say this earlier. I didn't say this earlier about the Bills and Dolphins, and I should have. Divisional games are hard. Like, I don't care if you have Skylar Thompson or Tyler Huntley. If you're playing a divisional game, it's hard. Like, there's no two ways about it. And the Ravens, I tell you what, if I'm Leslie Frazier, I'm watching all the tape from this game this past weekend, because the Ravens got after Joe Burrow.
17 offensive points too. So that 24 points did not come from offense. All 34 points of the Bills came from offense.
It's
true. To throw that in there.
It's true.
Ding,
it's
ding,
true.
ding.
It's true. Checkmate. Brian, I'm telling you, I will come on here and I will sit with a bowl of crow and I will eat it, and you can enjoy watching
when the
that.
Bills win the Super Bowl, is that what's going to happen
No,
here?
if they beat the Bengals on
If
Sunday.
the Bills win a Super Bowl, I'm buying you guys all a beer. So.
Well, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. If the Bills win the Super Bowl, we're going to have to talk. And,
We're gonna have to go join. We're gonna have to go join the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we move on, that 14.98 yard
Oh,
takeaway is one of the most incredible plays you'll ever see watching football.
now who was that wide receiver from the Ravens that started calling out the organization, the backup quarterback for not having Lamar Jackson out there? Did you hear that?
Yes,
No,
I don't
I
know
didn't.
who
What was his
who
name?
it was.
Was it Romeo Dobbs or something?
No, he plays for the
No.
Packers.
Packers.
Was
Yeah,
it
sorry, not
J.K.
Dobbs.
Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins. Yeah.
So he went on the media after, and he's like, we have Tyler Huntley. If we had Lamar Jackson, we win this game. That's pretty harsh.
Well, the whole situation with Lamar, it's like I believe that Lamar's got a bad knee, but I also believe that he didn't play because he doesn't have a contract.
I agree.
And I believe Lamar Jackson has probably taken his last snap as a Baltimore Raven.
Yep.
And we've got all offseason to speculate on where he'll play next. I think there's a lot of intriguing places for him to play, but we won't get into that now. Next, we're going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys
Oh, yeah.
whooping the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I took the Buccaneers to win last week. I thought that we were going to see a return to form of the old Tom Brady, but what I should have thought and acknowledged was this is like I said about the Packers last week, this was a bad football team from the word go this year.
Yep.
Their defense is awful. This myth of a Todd Bowles defense, to me, it's like I don't want to hear it anymore. Like it's awful. And a lot of people are getting on Brady. Okay, can I just say one thing about Brady? The biggest thing that's changed about him is that he's 45, and when you watch him, you can tell he doesn't want to get hit anymore. He does not want to get hit anymore. So if you combine that with the fact that their offensive line is awful and they have no run game to speak of, like they do not run the ball at all, like whatsoever. It's just bring pressure. He's got to get the ball out too quick. He's not mobile. He can't move. And so he's missing throws that he would normally make. And so do I think it's time for him to hang it up? Maybe. If he can go to an organization that has a really stable offensive line and a run game, I think he can still be productive for that organization. But I'm not at the point where I'm willing to say the guy's completely done. I think Tampa was just a bad team and he was part of it.
For sure. And that was the thing for me too. It's like, and I'm sure you guys were the same, when you were watching it, you saw a glimpse of Tom. Like, he is the best. There were shimmers of like, holy shit, like he could still actually pull this off and come back. But yeah, he's getting old, man. I totally agree. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say he's old and he's tired and he's sore. It's like my
He
grandpa.
doesn't want to get hit anymore. You can see it, man.
And
he does not want to get hit anymore.
The
Yeah.
receiving core looks like they're getting old and sore, too. Like Mike Evans doesn't look the same. Chris Godwin's having sort of a strange year. I know he's battling injuries, but he doesn't look good either. And Leonard Fournette is just non-existent.
How painful was it, though, for Mike McCarthy to win that game for you? That was kind of painful for me. I was like,
Oh, you know what?
I was like, I kind of was happy, but at the same time, I was like, you're just such a garbage coach that I can't be happy
I'm
for
happy.
you.
You know what, DVD? I'm so pissed off at that jackass down in Green Bay.
Everything else seems fine.
So yeah, I'm so mad at him right now that I'm happy for Big Mike. Like I truly
Big
believe
Mike.
that Big Mike
They're
contributes
best buds.
nothing to
Just monkey butt. Just
Yeah,
monkey
just
butt. That's
yeah.
it.
He just
I
stands
forgot
there.
about that literally until right now.
He just stands there and he just listens to Kellen Moore call the plays for Dak Prescott, and he just says nothing. And all his job is to manage Jerry. That's literally his job.
Yeah.
And
How
He's doing
good
a
is
good-
Pollard, though? Pollard is
Oh.
really good.
Yeah.
dude, so like Dak Prescott, if he plays like that, I'm happy that the Cowboys won, because even though the Niners are a buzzsaw, and I think the Niners will likely win on Sunday, I think Dallas is a way better matchup for the Niners than they would have.
Especially on
crushed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Crushed
like
them.
Micah Parson Micah Parson and Trayvon Diggs. They're going to get after him too.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some preview and we'll all make our picks for the divisional weekend. This is my personal favorite weekend of the NFL season. All the riffraff is gone. This is like these are the best teams in the league going toe to toe. I was lamenting to DVD last week. I'm down with the super wild card weekend, but I hate that one of the games is on the Monday. Like, why can't we just do Saturday and 3 on Sunday?
As if there wasn't time for that. I agree that the Monday night game is such a stupid idea.
It is.
Put a buzzkill in my weekend. I was getting, you get the nice day drunk going on the Saturday. It would have been nice if you started at like 1 o'clock-ish with the football game. Like I know. It would have been great.
Yeah, it's like it's so good. So that's why I love this weekend coming up, because I love like Saturday, first game's at 4:30, second game's at 8:30. Sunday,
and they're all rivals.
Yes.
All rivals.
Sunday, first game's at 3, second game's at 6:30. That's perfect. That's perfect.
It banded with your jammies by 9.
Yeah, you're not until midnight watching these games.
Yeah, I'm not until midnight watching these games. We're in bed, like you're ready to get games wrapping up around like 9:30. You're in bed. With me, it's like I love. Can I tell you guys what I did? The Minnesota Vikings got eliminated, and I got on the iHeart Radio app and listened to Minnesota sports radio and reveled in the people phoning and screaming about Kirk Cousins.
That's a move right there.
Yes.
That's a good move.
That's awesome.
I thoroughly enjoyed that, and I will likely do the same at some point with whoever loses this weekend. So let's talk about it. Our first game at 4:30 on Saturday is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Kansas City Chiefs. We touched on it earlier. I think all of us expect the Chiefs to roll in this game.
Jacksonville's going to get smoked.
And the Chiefs are minus 8.5. Like, I think the spread should be like at least a double, like 14, like minus 14.
Yeah.
Although it would be cool if they upset them for whatever reason. I would be a fan of that. But
I'd be down.
I'd be down. Like, I wouldn't be heartbroken. Fuck you, Patrick Mahomes.
I agree.
I could see Jacksonville starting quick and having the first 2 or 3 having a.
They have some momentum. They got some.
And being like, they're in this. But then at a certain point, it's gonna be like I said earlier about like the Seahawks are up on the Niners, and then Geno fumbles the ball, and that's it. Yeah. Like the Niners.
Yeah.
I could see a similar situation happening with this game, where the Chiefs just take over at some point.
It's just they get Travis Kelce the ball every play down the field. They'll just take it over.
Yes. Yep. So we're going, all 3 of us, Chiefs over the Jaguars.
I'm going Chiefs by 14.
Okay. All right. Saturday, 8:15 p.m. We've got an NFC East playoff matchup. The New York Football Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. This is going to be good. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm going for the G-men in this one.
No,
I'm taking the G-men.
I don't want to like lock in the G-men, but I'm like, I just have nobody expected much from them over the season, and they kind of crept up on everybody.
Jalen Hurts didn't look great when he came back either. I think he's still battling some stuff.
Yeah.
So if he's still hurting, I think the G-men can take this, especially with Saquon playing like he's playing.
Oh, man.
And Daniel Jones doing the, what was that, the Lady Liberty move?
Oh, Statue of Liberty? Yeah.
Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Saquon was a beast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big time beast. So I'm taking the G-men. What about you, DVD?
I might side with you on this one. I was going to take them just out of like heart, which I know is not a good way to bet, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Or if they lose, it's going to be close. But you know what? I'll make the firm lock in and say the G-men for me too.
I'm going to pick, you know what? Fine. You guys are being rational and level-headed. So I will be the one on this podcast who's just going to pick emotionally. So I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles to make it to the NFC Championship game. I think it'll be interesting to watch. Like, I think Daniel Jones and Saquon really feasted on that awful Minnesota defense. The Eagles defense is not the Vikings defense.
Yeah.
So I do think it'll be interesting. Listen, and that's not to say they won't go out and have as equally good a game. They very well could. But my point is, I think it's going to be interesting to watch them and see if they can do that again.
Yeah. Especially with Daniel Jones too. Like, they kind of joke calling him Danny Dimes. He actually kind of looked like Danny Dimes in that game.
Did he
so if he
look
keeps
like
doing that?
He looked like he was 9 feet tall back there.
I know.
Yeah.
And he's running the ball really well too. Like, he doesn't care about getting hit. He'll just, because he knows that's how he's got to stay in the league. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just using the whole body. We're getting this done.
You remember like 4 years ago when they were playing the Eagles and he took off down the field and he tripped over his own feet?
Yes, that finds its way into like Sports Center's top 10 like blunders of all time every now and then, and it's great.
But they said at one point he was touching like 40 kilometers. Like he had the fastest running recorded in the NFL that year, but he fell on the way down. So
he just tripped over his own feet. Poor guy. Okay, here we go. Sunday, 3 p.m. The game that we never got to see a few weeks ago because of the unfortunate situation with Damar Hamlin. We get the Cincinnati Bengals at the Buffalo Bills. This game to me is extra interesting because, like I said earlier, I think the Bengals will for sure have 2 of their starting offensive linemen out. It may be 3. These teams are as evenly matched as it gets, as far as I'm concerned. Like they are. The AFC is a 3-headed monster, and these are 2 of them.
So I think for me, the Bills' offense is definitely a better offense. They put up way more points game in and game out. It's just the defense worries me. It's been really, really bad. Leslie Frazier, it's been very confusing. He doesn't know how to stop the run. It's probably because our defensive line's also missing Von Miller, which is a huge miss for us. Like, Greg Rousseau's a nice player, but he just doesn't have that playoff edge like Von Miller. So I'm really worried. And we're also depleted in the safety position. We got Micah Hyde still battling injuries. Jordan Poyer's battling injuries. Tre'Davious White is just not the same guy after missing a year and a half. So I'm a little concerned with all that speed on the edge that they have.
You do have home field advantage, though. I did have to check that because I was a little confused with the Rubik's Cube of what happens if you're away or whatever it was. There was that neutral site stuff, but seems like it's fine on this.
The only way there's going to be a neutral site game is if Buffalo and Kansas City both win, and they'll play that game in Atlanta.
Yeah, Mercedes Stadium, which is a sweet stadium to play at, so I hope that happens. But I'm going to take the Bills 24-20.
Of course you are.
Okay.
Rob, you're going next. I was
I'm genuinely torn on this one, but I am also going to take the Buffalo Bills because I just think the Bengals offensive line, like Joe Burrow was literally running for his life all night against the Baltimore Ravens, and if they're still banged up, he's going to be doing that again. And I just don't see, especially at home in Buffalo, that place is going to be rocking.
And freezing cold.
I think the injuries to the Bengals plus the home field and the weather favors the Bills. So I'm going to pick the Bills to defeat. I'm not going to give a score. I'm never good at picking scores, but I will take the Bills to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Let's go.
It's going to be a battle. Like, I think it's just going to be both teams one up, one down. I'm torn too. To be honest, when you first asked this question, I was probably going to go with the Bengals was my immediate response. So you know what? I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go against the grain here.
So it makes it interesting.
Sorry, Brian.
So it makes it interesting.
It's all good.
It's DVD. I'm of the opinion, like I said, the injuries scare me, and I took the Bills, but this game could go either way. Like, it really could. Like, these 2 teams are super evenly matched. And finishing off the weekend is the Dallas Cowboys at the San Francisco 49ers. All right. I said earlier, I'm going to pick emotionally. And I'm going to pick emotionally because I think an Eagles-Cowboys NFC Championship game would be electric. Absolutely
and
electric.
Ratings galore.
Oh, dude, even this game. Like, what I was thinking that, like, these are 2 classic old school NFC rivals. Like, last night on the broadcast, they're showing highlights of like Troy Aikman against Steve Young in the playoffs. Like, it's like this game, this will do like 40 million people will watch this game. It'll be massive.
Yeah.
And at some point, Brock Purdy has to come back. Brock Purdy's a super nice story, and I think the kid is really good. But at some point, this has to come. He has to come back down to earth. I don't know if it's going to be against Dallas. It might be in the next round against the Eagles, but I'm emotionally going to pick the Cowboys because like I said, I just think Cowboys Eagles in the NFC Championship game is like as good as it gets.
I agree. And it's the best uniform matchup I want to see in the finals.
Yes.
It's very pretty.
It is a great uniform matchup.
I'll let
Who's going
DVD go
next?
first.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go with my boy Brock. I agree with you. He's not going to win a Super Bowl this year. I mean, I might eat my words, who knows? But I don't think his time's up just yet, especially not against the Cowboys. There's too much volatility in Dax. And like you said, he played amazing last week. Who knows if you're going to get that this week? And Brock has just been consistently pretty good. Like, he's been good consistently.
Brian mentioned the Cowboy defense earlier. That's going to be the key. Like, if Micah Parsons and Diggs can wreak havoc back there, and like some of their veteran guys like Leighton Vander Esch and like that sort of thing, like if they can, like Leighton Vander Esch was like stalking Tom Brady last night in the middle of the field. Like if they can do that again, like that's going to be the key, is the defense disrupting Brock Purdy.
That's the key for everyone, right? What's that old cliche thing? Defense wins championships. So I think it's going to be for everybody.
You know what, though? In today's NFL, I don't really know.
Mobile quarterbacks win championships.
Yes.
So I'm actually taking the Cowboys as well.
Oh!
Okay.
What I saw from Dak in that game, what I've been seeing from their run game, mainly Pollard, it's just they look like a juggernaut right now, and they have so many weapons on offense, especially in the wide receiver area. Their defense is stacked.
Dude, their offensive line was a wall last night.
Yeah. So with all that there, like San Francisco, like I know they've got both. Like, they have a great defense, number 1 ranked defense all year. I think the Cowboys got hot at the perfect time. So I can see them roll.
I think we can throw out the loss in Week 18 to the Washington Commanders. I think that was a classic, like, we don't want to be here. We don't want to play this game. Yeah. We're looking ahead to the first round of the playoffs, and that, to me, that's what happened.
Yeah, and I think that Dak's taken so much heat since he came back this year, and I feel like he's just going to go off this entire playoffs. I'm taking the Cowboys, and I'm going to take them by like 7 too.
Wow.
So if the Bengals or the 49ers win, I expect cases of Keiths at my doorstep next week.
All right.
I just exposed I'm a piece of crap. I like Keiths. I was going to say, I just exposed myself on my beer drinking.
Yeah, I'm a piece of crap as well.
I actually have those in my fridge right now.
Cheap and good.
I had a couple in my fridge too. Nice, lovely soul left them at my house on New Year's. What's everybody's plan for watching this weekend?
Just gonna lay on my couch.
Oh yeah. That's me. I'm in my house. If you want to see me, you come to my house.
Saturday might be a nice bar day. Go pick up. But you got to pick the right bar, because sometimes you go to ones that are like decently fun, and then they don't fucking play the sound, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
I don't want to listen to like
No.
Avicii. R.I.P.
I don't want to listen to like bad takes around me. I was in Louis last night picking up food because we just got back from the airport, so I had to just get quick food. And the takes I was hearing in there from people, I was just getting so mad. You could imagine what they were talking about if I'm getting that mad.
Yeah. I don't. No sound.
No,
no.
It's ridiculous. Well, it's just like, what's the point? It's like you're not a proper sport. Like, don't call yourself a sports bar if you're not playing the sound.
Exactly, 100%.
And I can sit at home and cry in peace if I have to. Like, it's just better when you're in home field advantage.
It's more fun to cry in public, Brian. Like, really force yourself to get out
Disagree.
there, show your emotions.
I think Tony Romo is going to have like some sort of episode calling that game on Sunday, because he's just going to be so overcome with love.
Oh my God!
Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Which one is he going to? Is he going to dote on more? That's the question.
Commentating to me is like an 11 out of 10 on the best of days. I love his commentating.
he kept calling Josh Allen Mr. January, and then halfway through the game, he stopped because he was getting crushed on Twitter by people who were like, the guy's never been to a Super Bowl. You can't call him Mr. January.
He's never been to an AFC championship yet. Let's let him get there and then throw the nicknames out there.
Yes. Yeah.
But
all
this
right,
year
friends,
he will be.
I will see you guys on the other side. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out. If you like what you see, hit that like and subscribe button below. We will see you all after the divisional round.